Alright, so what about derecognition of intangible asset? Alright, so an intangible asset shall be derecognized or eliminated from the books of account on disposal, or when there is no future economic benefits are expected from the use of intangible asset or disposal of intangible asset. Alright, so how to remove or derecognize, alright, the intangible asset. Okay, so to derecognize an intangible asset, we are going to credit intangible asset account. Alright, and then we are going to remove also all the related account. Alright, so we are going to debit if there is any accumulated amortization. Okay, and then we're going to debit if we have any accumulated impairment loss. Alright, and then we are going to record, okay, the payment received or the cash or the consideration received from the disposal of intangible asset. Alright, and for revalued intangible asset, don't forget to remove also the revaluation surplus. Alright, so debit ARR, credit retained earnings. Okay, alright, any difference, okay, any difference with the net disposal proceed, okay, or the consideration that we receive with the net carrying amount of the asset, okay, any difference are to be recognized in SOPL as gain or loss on disposal. Alright, if we need to debit SOPL, okay, if the difference need to be debited to SOPL, right, then it is a loss on disposal. Right, if the difference are to be credited to SOPL, okay, then it is gain on disposal. Alright, okay, so that's all for derecognition of intangible asset. Okay, alright, so let's look at the next one, the presentation and the disclosure of intangible asset. Okay, so an entity shall disclose the following for each class of intangible asset, but then we need to differentiate between the internally generated intangible asset and other types of intangible asset. Alright, we have to mention about the useful life, whether they are indefinite or finite. Alright, or finite, and if finite, the useful life or the amortization rate used. Alright, the amortization method used for intangible asset with finite useful life, the gross carrying amount and any accumulated amortization, as well as any accumulated impairment losses. The line items of the statement of profit or loss in which any amortization of intangible asset is included. A reconciliation of the carrying amount at the beginning and at the end of the year. For indefinite useful life, additional disclosure are required related to the carrying amount of the intangible asset and the reason supporting the assessment of an indefinite useful life. For a material intangible asset, additional disclosure are the carrying amount and then the remaining useful life or the remaining amortization period. Right, for intangible asset acquired by way of a government grant and initially recognized at fair value, additional disclosure are the fair value initially recognized, the carrying amounts, and then whether they are measured after recognition using cost model or revaluation model. Alright, so that's all for the presentation and disclosure of intangible asset. Alright, and that's all for topic 2. Thank you.